Hey friends, we're glad you tuned in to this episode of Beards and Bitcoins, a crypto podcast for the man's man, and all you beard-loving ladies. In this vast kingdom of nerdy incels, two men stand out as different from the crowd. BitBoy and J-Chains were both voted least nerdy in high school, most likely to have a better than mediocre podcast. Join them each week as they discuss all the hottest topics in cryptocurrency, as well as the fan favorite segment, Manspreading. So make sure to hit subscribe and turn on those downloads. Here are the dudes, Ben and Justin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beards and Bitcoins podcast, a crypto podcast for the man's man and the ladies who love them. I'm your co-host, BitBoy. This is your other co-host, J-Chains. Good to see you, Chains. What is going on this week?
It's actually good to see you too, good sir.
Oh, that's right. Nerd alert, nerd alert.
Oh, man.
Obviously, if you have glasses, you're a nerd, right?
100%. I got my nerd specs on. Things are going good, man. Things are another day in the life. Pretty excited about today's show. How about you?
Absolutely, man. I feel like something's rumbling in the crypto space right now. You know, I feel like Bitcoin's getting ready to blow. Like, that's how I'm feeling right now. What do you think about that?
I mean, you're seeing some alts pop. You're seeing some rumblings. I'm really excited to talk about that on Token Time. So actually, really quick, I'll tell you what we got going on in the show because it might explain a little bit more on that, right? So for news break, we're going to talk about what's going on in the stock market. And I don't know if you've heard of this thing called the Robinhood Rally, but something that would be good to discuss because I think it's important. On Token Time, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and actually about its market dominance and how that's going to affect AltSeason. And then we'll get into a little bit of beard grooming techniques, styles, advice, whatever on manspreading, just some man stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So also, we got a show for you next week, obviously, but I'm going on a big trip next week. That's pretty exciting. If you're into man stuff, okay, going to Vegas during a pandemic. What do you guys think? It's
open. I saw a video. I think that was last week. Vegas opened. Someone was shooting something going through a casino. So super exciting, man. I'm super excited for you to get back out there, get in the action. I know that you're a poker player, but you said the things are a little different right now, right? Just because of the table setup. So what is the deal?
Things are sketch. So we're going to be staying at the Venetian, which has I think the best poker room in Las Vegas. But the Gaming Commission, the United States Gaming Commission, has said that you cannot play more than 5-handed. So there's only going to be 5 people per table. And they're also going to be doing like 5-person sit and goes. There's no tournaments going on right now. Won't be for a while. And I don't know how long it's going to be before they ease up on these restrictions, but it's just also silly, honestly.
Everything is so silly. I mean, you see like the crowds gathering and how people are being urged to go do that. Yet, you still can't go to your grandma's funeral, God, if she passes, something like that. It's just things are a little backwards. I know that they're, like you said, the gaming commissions and cities and local municipalities, whatever, they're working to get things back open for everybody. But let's just be on with it.
Well, it's at this point, it's moved strictly into political correctness. That's basically what it is. It's like all of these places are doing this stuff for show 100%. Like, obviously, if you see these riots going on in these inner cities, you will see that no one gives a flip about social distancing. But we got to pretend that we do. We have to pretend that everybody cares. People care about stuff when it's convenient to them, really, is what it boils down to. And when people are trying to make the economy look bad, they want everybody to social distance. When they want to have a political rally, it's okay. It's totally fine. So all this stuff is just driven by hype and sensationalization of this pandemic, which has turned out to be a big flop compared to all the numbers that we were given. So I think that kind of ties into to Newsbreak also.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really, really interested, and I know that we can talk about this for a long time. I'll say one more thing. Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see what happens in the next probably 7 to 10 days because we're already, well into a week of protests. So with that 14-day incubation period, if there's going to be a round 2, it's going to be happening pretty soon. I know that they're starting to see cases rise, but again, I don't think anybody trusts anything that's coming out of the government right now.
There's going to be no rise in cases. There just isn't going to be. In my opinion, I don't think so. I mean, like I said, it's all turned out to be a bunch of hype and, closing the economy for craziness. So we're going to talk about that here in just a second in Newsbreak with the economy and stock markets and things like that. But first, we do want to tell you about our sponsor, Beards and Bitcoins Crypto Podcast is brought to you by Monarch Wallet. Rule your own financial kingdom from the palm of your hand.
That is right, Ben. The team at Monarch, they are working hard to bring you the one app to access all the best crypto services. These guys believe in delivering tech, not hype.
That's right. With the universal decentralized Monarch Wallet, you can buy, store, spend, and earn crypto. With Monarch Pay, you can set up and accept recurring crypto payments.
Nice, nice. Well, if you need more information, make sure that you check out monarchwallet.com or monarchtoken.io today.
All right. That's right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into news break. News break.
All right, this week for news break, we're going to be talking about what is going on in the stock market. I mean, it's just unbelievable. If you're paying attention to what's going on in the economy here in the United States, and then to see companies that are bankrupt, going bankrupt, filing for bankruptcy, they're throwing up 1x, 2x's. I mean, it is just insane. They're calling it the Robinhood Rally. So what's important is how does that affect people in the crypto space?
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting because like there's this narrative in cryptocurrency, and it really lines up with everything we believe in crypto, which is the dollar is going to collapse. The economy, the entire economy is basically fake. It's a giant fake economy, pumped up, kind of like China's is almost. And then one day it's all going to crumble, and our entire economic system is going to be revolutionized. But I'm really becoming of the opinion that none of that's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know. It's tough to see. I mean, nobody has a crystal ball, so you don't really know what's going to happen. But
that's not true. I do know people with crystal balls. They're called psychics.
I will actually, I'll bring it on. It's not accessible for me right now, but I literally do, because I used to be a hippie guy and collect gemstones and crystals. I do actually have a crystal ball. It doesn't tell me the future, but I have a crystal ball.
Hippie alert.
Man, I'm just getting hit with all sorts of
all the alerts, today. Dude. In a couple of weeks, we'll have some sound effects for that. Okay.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah. So, we should do a show. I'm going to cut you off again because I need you to know this. We should do a show where we go to a psychic and ask her what the price of Bitcoin is going to be.
Dude, that would be fun.
That's a great idea, isn't it?
Yes, and what I like about it more is that it gets us together and we could do live shows.
Dude, I love it. We got to do a live show soon.
I like that.
Okay, continue. I really want to hear your thoughts and opinions on this.
All right, so back into this, right? So this is the largest 50-day rally in the history of the market. Every S&P 500 stock is up, within the last 2.5 months. And like I said earlier, like there are several well-known companies that have either filed for bankruptcy, are filing for bankruptcy, that are throwing up 1-2x's, right? How is this happening? And people are saying like, okay, so we're like in a recession. How is the stock market pumping this hard? And obviously the Burr machine was printing, so that played into it. But they're calling it the Robinhood Rally, which is
why is that?
Well, because you're seeing a lot of not institutional investors getting in the game. So you're seeing a lot more, and obviously because everyone knows that the market is just not stopping, so people are like, "Screw it, I'm throwing money in the stock market because it's just not
retail
stopping."
Investors in the stock market.
Yeah, but they're all going to get toast. You know it is. The pin's going to pop this thing, and they're all going to get toasted.
Justin, I don't know about that. Like, that's what everybody keeps saying. And look, here's the thing about financial markets. They tend to do the opposite of what everybody thinks they're going to do. And for the last several months, everything's been recession, going down. It's going to pop. You see the rally go up, and everybody says it's a sucker's rally. It's not going to continue. But our economy was extremely strong before this pandemic hit. And now that the pandemic hit, there's this, a common thought that we're going to go down. But then a lot of people believe, and if Donald Trump has said from the very beginning that, and Steve Mnuchin as well, that we were going to see a V-shaped rally where we're going to drop down and collapse, and then we were going to shoot back up. And that's what we're seeing, but that wasn't the popular thought. Most people thought the opposite would happen. So here's what I will tell people. Do not underestimate the government's power to pump their own economy.
Oh, I mean, especially in an election year, man, there's just, there's no way that they're going to allow the economy to collapse this year. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I actually don't even want to start thinking about the debates for this election year.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. Honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait for the whole thing. You know, I love politics personally. I don't talk about it a lot on the show, obviously, but I do love politics, and I do have strong political opinions that I do not
Yes.
voice. Yeah.
I am right there with you. I don't want anybody yelling at me for the way that I think.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, because it's weird, like online, you know, everything's just kind of an echo chamber or a troll box. It's one or the other. So it's like, you know, half the people are going to agree with you, half the people are going to disagree with you. And then God forbid you like don't align with your own party on one subject and then you get attacked by both sides. It's just crazy. So it's just better not to talk politics at all. You know, just talk your politics with your vote. That's all you can really do. I mean, put your vote in and that's how you affect things. So, but listen, speaking of affecting things, let's go ahead and jump into how Bitcoin is affecting altcoins here in token time. But don't forget, before we do that, you guys take a break here and go check out beardsandbitcoins.com. You can check out all of our content there, along with sign up for your 21 best Bitcoin practices guide if you are new to crypto. So let's go ahead and jump into token time.
Token time.
All right, guys, now we're going to do a little something different for token time, because usually for token time, you guys know we talk about a coin, we pump it, we talk about it, we talk about the numbers, we do the whole thing, right? But we're doing something different this episode. We want to talk about altcoin season, and more specifically, what that actually has in relationship with Bitcoin dominance. Because before our altcoin backs can pump, Bitcoin's got to do some things. So tell them a little bit about that, Jay. What do you think Bitcoin has to do?
Well, we can get it out in 1 second. So currently, right now, I mean, you're looking about like a 65% Bitcoin dominance, right? So what it has to do is make a big jump, like you said, whether it's up or down. Now, like if you go back, say to like 2013 to, I'd say the first beginning part of 2017, right? Like I think that it didn't really go any different than like 95 to 77%, right? Like it just kind of like stayed in there. It bounced that whole time. Now, obviously, we know what happened in 2017. 2017 was, you know, it was, that's where the bull run was going to take place, right? So if you saw from like March to June of 2017, Bitcoin dominance dropped from 86% to 37%. Now that's just like 3-4 months, right? Like that's a little bit of time, but we all know when the bull run really started happening was kind of that second half of 2017, where you see it like, you know, go from, you know, the high 30s shoot up into the 60s. Right. So there's like, you're seeing from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year. I mean, it goes huge spike down and then a huge spike back up. But most importantly, when we get to like the second half of 2017, that's when you see like a big drop again. Yeah. So the big alt season was at the end of 2017, right?
Yeah.
Like
that's when everything was pumping.
Everything was pumping, but then, you know, you see the Bitcoin dominance drop from 62% down to like 32%. And this, you know, earlier in the year, it took like, you know, what did I say, 4 months to drop, you know, 60% or whatever it was. Well, now we dropped a 30% in a matter of a month. So I think that's just like when the true alt season happened. So in order to trigger these alt seasons, Bitcoin has to make big moves.
Yeah. Well, what happens is when Bitcoin starts making these big moves, people start selling their Bitcoin and moving towards the altcoins, because everyone understands, all your new retail investors, anyone who doesn't have $100,000 in Bitcoin, they all understand they're never going to get rich with Bitcoin. If you have $50,000 in Bitcoin, you may have a shot to one day be a millionaire with that. Okay. It's going to be down the road, years down the road. Mm-hmm. But if you got $2,000, you're not going to get rich with Bitcoin. You're just not going to do it.
Not happening.
Right. So what happens is this kind of the gateway drug for people to get into crypto. So they buy Bitcoin, and then at some point they realize like, okay, well, Bitcoin's already had these huge pumps, and it, you know, they start doing the math. Like I got $2,000 in, like even if it goes to, you know, $100,000, like I'm going to have like 20 grand, but that's not going to be enough to really change my life. And so people say, how can I change my life? And that's when they start letting those gains flow out of Bitcoin and down into altcoins. And, you know, the savvy investor who does have a lot of money in Bitcoin, they kind of go through that same process, because they say to themselves like, okay, Bitcoin feels like now it's a little bit running out of gas. How can I keep the pedal down? And that's when they start flowing down to the top 10 projects, then to the top 20, and then down, you know, beneath that.
hmm I think, one of the things that's really important about that is, when you kind of think about the psychological aspect of all of this, and I mean, you got to remember, take profits, right? Like, all of us got toasted for not taking profits.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that as we kind of, mature in the industry, and as we see like some more cyclical things, just remembering to take profit, I think that you're going to see, when those Bitcoin spikes, sell it off, and then get into alt season, because like you said, man, you're not going to get rich if you don't have, I mean, if you don't have more than 10 Bitcoin, you're not going to be a millionaire.
No. I mean, who knows? I was looking at something today that said Bitcoin could go to 10 million in 5 years, but let's be realistic. I mean, a lot of people think we're unrealistic for saying it's going to hit 100K. I think it will for sure. I don't think there's any question about it. But
what is it? It needs to get to like a $3 trillion, $3 trillion market cap, right? In order to hit that number, something like that.
Well, that depends on the dominance.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All depends on the dominance.
That Bitcoin dominatrix.
Oh, whoa, you get a little dirty with it. That's right. Why don't you tell them about our Telegram?
Yeah. Hey, again, like Ben said, this one was a little different. Typically, we'll talk about a project. So if you want to join our Telegram, you can come chat with us. We'll talk about your favorite projects. We'll talk about crypto. We'll talk about manspreading, motorcycles, tattoos, anything you want. We're always in there. The address for that is t.me/beards and bitcoins. Come talk to us, and we'll see if what you're talking about will show up on a token time in the future.
Manspreading. Okay, guys, for Manspreading, we have what could turn out to be a real turning point in the shows. The show's history, possibly in the future. We might look back at this date as the singular episode that destroyed this podcast. So what I want to do is I want to ask you right now, Chains. Mm-hmm. Can you tell everybody about the decision that you're weighing out in your mind?
I can. So we are going on our, I don't know, something consecutive day in the 100-degree weather here in Austin, Texas. My beard is very thick, lovely, and luscious. Mm-hmm. However, it is extremely warm outside with it. So I am playing with the idea of shaving off the beard, with the exception of, say, a 5 o'clock shadow, and leaving either a handlebar mustache, or just a standard mustache. I don't know if our listeners, if you all remember when we had Aaron D. Johnston on the show, one of the things that we talked about was at some point every man should grow their beard out for a year without cutting it.
Yeah, I do remember that for sure. I can't do it though. Like my beard doesn't grow that way. I cannot look that scraggly. Like when my beard starts growing out, like y'all have seen it before on the channel when it gets big, it's like poking out, hairs are sticking out. There's something about my beard. It's just not coarse enough, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
you think it's the fibrous nature of your hair that doesn't allow it to get thick and luscious?
Yeah, which is weird because my hair on top of my head is so thick and luscious. Like I'll never lose my hair. It's beautiful.
Maybe you need a good beard oil.
Maybe, maybe I should try some vitamins, some other stuff, try to really, amp this thing up. But I'm just content. I got the beard. It gets a little crazy. I trim it and it still looks good. I just think it looks sharp, and I'm just going to go with it. But I want to share one thing with you, Jay. Like one thing that was, something that I think is going to encourage you to go ahead and just cut that beard off. Okay. Here's the thing. When I cut the beard off, do you remember when I shaved my beard?
I remember that.
It was the worst decision of my entire life. And so I want to encourage you to go ahead and do it this one time, because what it'll do is it will allow you to come to this realization that you're completely stupid and you would never, ever, ever do that again.
Dude, I first off, I am absolutely no stranger to any of this. I've disappointed myself countless times throughout my life where I want to shake it up a little bit and I'll shave and I will just be like, if
what
you could
did I just do?
Dude, if you could like punch yourself in the face sometimes, I'd do it. I mean, but I'm like the idiot that I can't even trim my own beard. Like I have to get it professionally done because it's probably happened. And I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating this all. Maybe 3 to 4 times in my life, I'll be trimming my beard and I'll sneeze or something will happen and I'll take a big chunk out of it. So I don't even trust myself to trim my beard.
Yeah. Well,
because I've done that to myself. I know.
I shaved my
And then
eyebrow off once, so
I remember that story. So I am no stranger to disappointing myself. And I was talking to my wife about this too. And I'm like, I went into the bathroom, got the clipper, and I was ready to go. And I came back out. I'm like, no, I know exactly how I'm going to feel after I look in the mirror after shaving off my beard. I'm just going to be so mad at myself.
You're going to look ridiculous because I look like a small child. Okay. Now, listen, here's the thing. I think there's really only one way to truly decide on what you should do with your beard.
We should let the people decide.
Twitter poll. Should Chains shave his beard? Yes or no? And remember, guys, he's really hot. He's really hot and he needs help, okay? He's really hot. He's so warm in Texas.
Can we, instead of just being a yes or no, could we stage it? Could we be like, no, leave the beard?
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
Handlebar mustache.
Yeah,
Yes,
I like
just straight
that.
mustache, or just wipe it clean.
I mean, let's put it to the people, man. I mean, we are a show. We're a man, the Crypto Podcast for the man's man. We got to get the men's opinion,
I would appreciate if some of you ladies listen and vote on this too, please.
Yeah, we got to find out, should Chains shave his beard? And what style? So we'll put a poll up this week so you guys can vote on that. My vote is no. Keep it the same and be a man. That is my vote personally. But I also did tell you to go ahead and actually shave it off. That's probably for my pure enjoyment. But as a friend, I'm going to say no. So,
that makes
but
sense.
Look, guys, this is all we got for today. This is the whole episode today. And I know you guys are going to come back next week because you guys are going to be super excited to find out what Chains is going to look like. It could be drastically different.
I could look like a little baby man.
A little baby man? Yeah, you could look like a little baby man. I like that. All right, guys, we will catch you guys next week. Hopefully Bitcoin will be over 10K. Let's get it.
See you.
Thank you for listening to the Beards and Bitcoins Crypto Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you are subscribed on your favorite podcast platform and help us spread the word by sharing your favorite Beards and Bitcoins podcast episodes on your social media. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitter @BeardsBitcoins to participate in the weekly poll, chat, and share fire memes. Oh, and don't forget to visit our website, beardsandbitcoins.com, for more episodes, information, and merch today. See you next time.